And it's not fair to
non-high
throw up on her
right,
every day.
Absolutely. It's
Literally or figuratively.
Well, please don't do that. Right.
Good morning.
Oh my word. Yeah.
Unless you're into that kind of a thing.
No, that's disgusting. Nobody's into that.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Are we doing this on Monday?
Sure.
No.
They don't know.
You don't know because we time travel. Time travel.
Well, we didn't do it next Tuesday.
We did it on Monday, on Sunday, on Tuesday.
It's Monday somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
It's true.
Australia.
Yep, probably is.
We're in Australia.
Anyway, hello,
Good
people.
day, Nate.
Haveamarriage.com. Tim and Tammy.
That
edit
ain't a
here.
knife. This is a knife.
Oh my word, my mother will love that you said that. Crocodile Dundee. It's amazing. We're going to talk about high maintenance spouses here.
Yeah, because one of us is high maintenance. I will let you choose which one it is.
But we are coming to figure out that this is not unusual. Really?
Yeah.
This is not
Anyone
unusual.
that knows her knows she's high maintenance.
I am very high maintenance. I'm so high maintenance. It's ridiculous. No, and I
pray
might be,
for
and
me.
you just don't even know. But I have a feeling sometimes that spouses don't know that they're high maintenance.
I can list all my
But-
friends with the high maintenance spouse. Are you ready? Your name is no.
But
Tammy.
it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But you have a high maintenance spouse.
All right. So what
Usually-
is high maintenance?
Well, high maintenance doesn't necessarily mean there's degrees. One just could be a higher maintenance spouse than the other. You know, one could be really high maintenance. The other could just be like, whatever, I'm cool with whatever. But it can lead to some resentment.
So where am I
and-
at on the whole? Am I the really high maintenance?
High maintenance
No
people.
comment.
You know what? I will tell you, I did a little bit of research on this.
Just a little bit.
And all of
5 minutes of a Google search.
Oh my goodness. But most, 90% of the articles and content out there is how to tell if you are a high maintenance person.
So how do you tell if
You know
you're
what?
a high maintenance
Well, wait
person?
a minute. I
Whoa.
thought this was interesting though,
Boom, boom.
because it wasn't like what to do when your spouse is high maintenance and how to live with it. Most of it is it's like run for the hills. It's a deal breaker. If you're in a relationship with a high maintenance person, it's like, really, that's your only option. Just get out. So all these high maintenance
Really?
people, yes. So all these high maintenance people just have to be alone.
Yep.
Like how horrible is
We're
that?
better alone.
Not necessarily. No, high maintenance. You require more attention. There's just you are a little bit needier. You might
Thanks,
not
babe.
consider the other person's feelings, emotionally, sexual situations, financial stuff as much as maybe you
You
should
don't
be
care
together.
about Jack as
That's
long
not
as
what
you
I'm
were
saying.
being maintained.
No, because being high maintenance doesn't necessarily mean uncaring or unloving or rude. It could be from a variety of different reasons why you could be a little more high maintenance than the other person. But if it's causing stress in your marriage, if you're frustrated by it, and you may not be, you're like, yes, my wife, my husband's, they're high maintenance. I love them.
I'm
and that's
honest.
just the way they are.
I'm a high maintenance one between us, and it frustrates me at times. And I'm the one that's a little high maintenance. You're all a little.
little.
That ain't a knife.
No, but what'd you just say?
That ain't a knife. That ain't high maintenance.
Right,
This is
knife.
high maintenance.
Oh my goodness. There we go. That's it right there. That's amazing. Yes. But I mean, it doesn't, like we said, doesn't necessarily mean rude or uncaring or unloving. It is just.
So
is
I am
what it
high
is.
maintenance and loving and not rude.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
But,
Wow.
okay.
So apparently she picked the topic today.
I did pick the topic because we are dealing with that. We actually, we're very honest with you guys. We are the same with your in person when there's just the two of us,
my
but we're
goodness.
on here. We're
All right.
we're very
So
similar.
let's unpack Tim's high maintenance
It's not
and
necessarily
how
Tim.
you deal with high maintenance. So what type of high maintenance are there?
Well,
high
I think there's
maintenance
several,
is-
but I think some of the most common ones are you're emotionally high maintenance.
One.
Yeah,
Thanks.
emotionally.
That's me. Two.
Sexually high maintenance.
That's me. Run for the hills. Three.
Financially high maintenance.
That's not me.
I don't think that's you. And you're more of a perfectionist high maintenance. Things have to be perfect around the house. Cleanliness, whatever it is, it's got to be, that's not right. That's not right.
So I'm
the other spouse can't even keep up.
3.5 high maintenance.
3.5, or would you say you're a little bit on the perfectionist
Well,
cleanliness?
I'm a little more on the cleanliness to help if you clean up anything around here, but you don't.
Anyway, let's discuss how we deal with the high maintenance spouse. How about that?
Just trying to give you some examples of what a high maintenance spouse might be. Bathroom's dirty.
I need
It'd be great
attention.
if you clean it.
See, that's passive aggressive and rude.
No, that's literal.
That's true. All right, 5. Let's give 5 ways that you can. I don't want to use the word deal because I don't want to have to deal with you. That seems
She deals
like
with me on a daily basis.
Well, yeah, but it's
All right.
I don't like dealing. That's
How
not
to
a-
live
How to
with
live.
a high maintenance spouse.
Yes, number
one.
one. Talk about your expectations. And you know what? It might be really hard to go to your spouse and go, "You're kind of high maintenance. How do I deal with that?"
Especially
and
if-
they go, "What? I'm high maintenance?" Okay, that kind of response, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to talk about
I honestly
expectations.
think that high maintenance people know they're high maintenance. I think there comes to a point
Probably.
in your relationship, if you've been married for a long time, that
It's come up in
you
conversations.
it's come up in conversations. You kind of, without knowing it, beat your spouse down to get the
Well,
thing
beat
that
your-
you want.
don't beat
you know
your
what I
spouse.
mean? Whether it's manipulation or yelling or anything else, you just run the person ragged until you finally get the maintenance that you require.
Yeah.
So I think if you're really, really smart and you're the high maintenance one, you know it. You can also just ask which one of us is high maintenance. Actually, it's a fun conversation when you have it in a enjoyable, fun way. I'm high maintenance. No, you're high maintenance. No, this is how you're high maintenance. And no, this is how I'm high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can have a fun conversation about it rather than you are the biggest thing I can't say on a thing because
but-
I can't afford to keep you in my life.
Oh, my word.
She
Talk about
always needs
expectations.
flowers. It's ridiculous.
Talk about that. What are your expectations? So
Yeah.
Tim is the high maintenance spouse. What are your expectations? If you're emotionally, what do you need from me emotionally? What do you expect? That doesn't necessarily mean I can provide all of that, but I can maybe help him with some of it, and we find a boundary. And that's another one. What's
So
number 2?
an example of an emotional high maintenance spouse is one expectation that's I just thought of is just, look, I need you to allow me to be emotional with you. Especially on a man's perspective, women are always expecting us to be strong and have no emotions and not cry. But if you're my safe spot, then I sometimes just need to throw up emotion all over you.
Yeah, and I need to be okay with that. I mean, I can't just give in to everything, but there has to. Number 2 is boundaries.
You
Let's
could.
find some boundaries. Let's find some balance because
Yeah.
we're not. We shouldn't have to take it all.
And it's not fair to throw up on her
right,
every day.
Absolutely, it's
Literally or figuratively.
Well, please don't do that. Right.
Good morning. Bleh.
Oh my word. Yeah.
Unless
so
you're into
find-
that kind of a thing.
No, that's disgusting. Nobody's into that. Find some boundaries, find some balance on it. Okay, here's your expectations. Here's the expectation. How can we find some balance
Yeah.
that I'm not exhausted and
And it's a
resenting
respectful
you?
conversation.
It's a very respectful
It is not an
conversation.
argument.
Yeah.
It's just going for understanding rather than how do I deal with you.
Yeah, I need you to talk
Both
to
of you
me.
should have an input.
Yeah.
And a compromise can mean that you both win or you both don't like the compromise, but at least you're compromising on how to go from there.
So that the marriage wins.
Number 3.
Number 3, what is the root? Is the root something you can control? What is causing this high emotion? I kind of went off. I went to that because
She
that one.
cheated.
I did. Well, is this something you can control? Is it because you didn't get enough attention as a kid? Is it because
Yes.
you're missing something from your childhood?
Yes.
Now remember, your spouse cannot be all of those things, but they can help work through them with you. So find out what the root is. Why you're feeling this way? What is causing these feelings? Do you feel neglected? Were you not given the importance as a kid? What is the high maintenance? Did you
All of it.
Do you have a lot of money now and
Go
you
see a counselor.
didn't as a kid? So now you feel like you need to spend stuff. Whatever it is, talk about that. And yeah, that might need some professional counseling. You
Right.
never know. So
And that's a bad thing for
No.
you to work on yourself.
Absolutely
It's
not.
not like you have to go to marriage counseling because you're the one that's high maintenance
Sure.
or you're the one that has issues. That's actually more mature for you to go, hey, I do have issues. I should go work on them, or we can work on them together.
Mm-hmm.
Here are my things. Let's talk about finances. Let's talk about intimacy and what looks healthy to you and what looks healthy in our relationship.
yeah,
So
I'm actually gonna go
You
with this
said
one.
3, but you skipped around, so you never said that one.
So I did. What is
Okay.
the root? That's what we just talked about. We
Okay.
talked about expectations. We talked about the boundaries and balance. I'm going to talk about, is it worth it? Whatever you're arguing with now, if this is a really big frustration in your marriage, is the arguments worth it? Because again, like everything I read, it was like, oh, deal breaker. Let's just get out. Don't even bother. Well, okay, but this is still another human being that needs love and attention and affection and connection. So is it really worth arguing over petty little things when all maybe she really needs is to take 2 minutes to look in her eyes every single day, give her a hug, kiss her on the forehead, or it's anything he needs, just
That's
a
what I
really
need.
good hug and a love. Is it really worth arguing if that's really what they need? If you're considering that's needy and high maintenance, that's really not that big of a deal. So
I guess
consider that.
it depends. And then honestly, in some of our arguments, a lot of the times I just don't feel like she's catching the fact that I am a logical person, and some of the high maintenance things that I'm asking for are almost illogical. I do weigh that out even before the request comes. So it really kind of depends on how self-involved. Well, that's not right. Self-reflective the person is
That's good.
when they're asking about, and they understand that they're high maintenance, and when they're asking for you to fulfill their needs and all of that.
Yeah.
If the person's self-reflective, they've literally thought through, and an overthinker, they've thought through the entire conversation and have overthought how to communicate, which it would be my issue. I overthink.
Yeah. And number 5, the 5th one is focus on the positive.
Yeah.
All high maintenance people, it's not all negative.
You can be married to a high maintenance person.
Absolutely.
So what's the positive of fine, I'll accept it. So sexual, I'm a high maintenance sexual person. I'll be honest.
You do keep us connected intimately, and
Yes.
we probably have sex more often.
I am the
because
passionate
of yours.
one.
Whatever, I'm passionate.
Yeah.
But it keeps us. Now, if I was like, oh my gosh, you need it all the time, blah 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 blah, it would be annoying. Or I can focus on the positive, that he really connects, and that's the way he connects and feels intimate with me, and I appreciate that because that keeps us connected. If you are,
And we do have the
emotionally high
conversation
maintenance,
of how that looks like. That's the
Yeah.
whole point. We
Yes.
found the balance of
Yes.
my high maintenance sexual activity, and she is a different person.
yeah. And if you're emotionally high maintenance, this person wants to connect with you, and that
Which is
connection,
me.
that person is connecting, and you find more emotional attachment, and bonds you together, nurtures your marriage to be more intimate emotionally. If you've got someone that spends money, maybe think of the positive, that they're really looking for the best deal or the highest quality of whatever it is. Try to find that. Hey, great, I know that you like to spend money. Let's find something that's going to last a really long time.
Let's find the best car at the cheapest price.
Yeah, foster that and use it. Don't think of it as a negative. Figure out the positive.
Use the high maintenance person to your power. Bend
right.
them to your will.
And
They
if
can
you've
be your
got-
Padawan.
Oh my gosh. And if you've got a cleanliness person that's a freak on cleanliness,
Awesome.
hey, you're now in charge of the cleanliness in the house. Go for it, hon.
Don't go.
I'm sure
"But
there's a lot
babe,
of others."
You didn't do the windows today.
Left it for you, darling. So there are ways, I hate the word deal with, but, or even
To live
manage.
with.
To live with. I think
Right.
it's good. Live with a
So
high
can we
maintenance
go
person.
over the 5 things again?
Sure. Talk about your expectations. What does that person expect out of you?
Sex every 2 minutes.
Find the balance, find boundaries, figure that out what
Which
works
equals
for both of them.
sex every other day.
Oh my word. Find the root of the situation. Why is this person high maintenance?
I wasn't
Is
held
this
enough as
something
a
we can
child.
dropped on your head. It could be a lot of different
I
things.
hate paint chips.
Is it worth it? Is the arguments over this high maintenance issue really worth it? And try to find out if it's really worth what it's doing and what's the cause of it. And then number 5, find the positive. What are the benefits of this? And like he said, if you want to work on yourself, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying high maintenance is bad, good, positive. It just
But
kind
I'm
of
not
is.
saying it's a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker
Not a
at all.
deal breaker,
Just
absolutely not.
compromise and work together through it.
Yeah.
And it just forces you to deal with your stuff.
Yep.
And it forces your spouse to deal with your stuff. And that's why it's not a run for the heels. Don't marry this person. Don't get a divorce now.
No.
I know plenty of people that have been married for 53 years and both people are high maintenance.
You know a lot of people that have been married for 53 years.
53 years, exactly. Yeah, like her parents. Way high maintenance. Your mom will love that.
I don't think either one of them are high maintenance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, we love you guys. Haveamarriage.com. Find us on the social media, interwebs.
Interlinks. If you have any questions and you want us to talk about a specific topic,
Absolutely.
DM us at any time. We will keep it private like we always do.
Yep. Okay, we love you guys, and we will see you next Monday.
Maybe.